This video is going to cover the installation of vRealize suite products like vRealize Automation, vRealize Lifecycle Manager, and VMware IDM. Okay, so let's kickstart. So I have the ISO mounted and I'm going under the installer folder. Since I'm installing it on a Windows machine, I'm going ahead and clicking on the setup file, which should be here. Yeah, okay. Okay, so if you are migrating from a previous version, say for example 7.x, 7.5 or 7.6, then you can go ahead with this option. And since I'm going with a new installation, I'm clicking with new, and then this, as I was stating earlier, it's going to install vRealize Automation, Lifecycle Manager, and then VMware Identity Manager. These can be installed separately as well. So since I don't have anything in my lab, so I'm just going ahead with new, and I'm unchecking the customer experience improvement program, and then click on next. And this is the vCenter instance which I have, and the port number and the user account and the password. And say next, and then at the certificate warning you may go ahead and accept it, and just wait until the certificate is validated, and then click on the data center, and then click on the cluster where you want to install. So here in my case I'm using the local disk on the ESX host, and I am enabling thin disk mode, but it's good if you are in production, go ahead with the thick mode. Okay, and I have the IP address of my gateway and the DNS server, everything pre-populated here. Okay, so no need to, if you don't have these things already populated, you have to key in the data. Now at this stage we will be punching in the password for both vRA and other appliances, right? As it is stated here, LCM, vRealize Automation, IDM, all the root and admin password will be setting with the same password. So which is, in a way it is different from earlier version, but this seems to be good. And here the host name or a virtual machine name that we can supply for LCM, and the IP address and which data center it is going to sit. In my case, the data center name is Nova and cluster name is MGMT. So data center name is Nova and vCenter name is, I'll paste from here, and my vCenter name is VC01, and the disk increase the GB is 20, and that's the default one. By default the disk size of the partition is 20 GB, so I'm just keeping the minimum, and if it is a production environment, accordingly we can increase the size. And identity manager configuration, you need to give the configuration for identity manager, and if you already have an identity manager which has been pre-provisioned, we may go ahead and import that IDM manager by selecting the import existing IDM, right? And then yeah, so I have already given the default configuration administrator name, so I'm just keeping that, and I'm clicking on the Active Directory uh, group synchronization here, and then next. And I'm planning to deploy a single appliance in this installation. But yes, of course, if it is a production deployment, uh, then obviously the right way to configure would be the cluster deployment, which essentially will deploy three uh, vRA appliances and move on with that. If later needed, we may go ahead and add it. So for now, I'm keeping the I will have to quickly validate this, the license key, and the vRA environment name I already have here, the IP address and things. So give me 1 minute. Just quickly validate the configuration and then click on submit. So I'm gonna stop the video or pause the video until this all the installation gets completed. So basically the installation will go through various stages, and once the LCM is ready, it will show the URL right here, and we may use the URL to track or the progress of the installation after logging into the LCM. So that is one good thing VMware has done. And even in case in between, if the installation wizard gets closed, the activity would or the progress will be still continuing. The only option to monitor it is from the LCM. Okay, and I'll come back once the installation is done. Thank you. Right, so finally, uh, it took almost 40 minutes to set up the whole infrastructure. Now we have LCM, IDM, and vRA ready. You can see the status right here. So that concludes the installation of vRealize automation and LCM and IDM. So I'll come back with you with the further configuration in the next video. Thank you.